I'm Stefani Nelson, one of your local alpha agents, and I'm here to read you a bedtime story. Tonight we're going to do the Sleepy Book, and let's see what we can find. Once there was a sleepy little rabbit who began to yawn, and he yawned and yawned and yawned. He opened his little rabbit mouth when he yawned till you could see his white front teeth in his little round pink mouth. And he yawned until suddenly a bee flew into his mouth and he swallowed the bee. "Hoo-hoo," said a fat owl. "Always keep your paw in front of your mouth when you yawn." "Rabbits never do that," said the sleepy little rabbit. "Silly rabbit," said the owl, and he flew away. The little rabbit was just calling after him, but when the little rabbit opened his mouth to speak, the bumblebee had curled up to sleep in his throat, and all he could do was whisper. "What shall I do?" he whispered to a squirrel who wasn't sleepy. "Wake him up," said the squirrel. "Wake up the bumblebee." "How?" said the rabbit. "All I can do is whisper, and I'm sleepy, and I want to go to sleep. And who can help with a bumblebee?" Suddenly a wise old groundhog popped out of the ground. "All I can do is whisper," said the little rabbit. "All the better," said the groundhog. "Come here, little rabbit," he said, "and I will whisper to you how to wake up the bumblebee. You have to make the littlest noise that you can possibly make, because a bumblebee doesn't bother about big noises. He's a very little bee, and he's only interested in little noises." "Like a loud whisper?" asked the rabbit. "Too loud," said the groundhog, and he popped back in his hole. "A little noise," whispered the rabbit, and he started making little rabbit noises. He made a noise as quiet as the sound of a bird's wing cutting the air. But the bee didn't wake up, so the little rabbit made up the sound of snow falling. But the bee didn't wake up, so the little rabbit made the sound of a bug breathing, and a fly sneezing, and grass rustling, and a fireman thinking. Still the bee didn't wake up, so the rabbit sat and thought of all little sounds he could think of. What could they be? A sound quiet as snow melting, quiet as a flower growing, quiet as an egg, quiet as... Suddenly he knew the little noise he would make, and he would make it. It was little like a click made hundreds of miles away by a bumblebee in an apple tree in full bloom on a mountaintop. It was the very small click of a bee swallowing some honey from an apple blossom. And at that, the bee woke up. He thought he was missing something, and he flew away. And then what did the little rabbit do? That sleepy little rabbit? He closed his mouth, he closed his eyes, he closed his ears, and he tucked in his paws, and he twitched his nose, and he went sound asleep. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight, and hope everyone has sweet dreams. Thank you.